Georgia Public Broadcasting presents the 2006 Georgia High School Association's football semifinals. Funding for this program is provided in part by Georgia Electric Membership Corporations, the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, IBEW Local 613, Atlanta, Wachovia, the Georgia Student Finance Commission, by viewers like you, and the Georgia High School Association, who wish to thank the Georgia Dodge dealers, State Farm, and Verizon Wireless for their support of high school sports programming on GPB. Live from the Georgia Dome, it's the GHSA Single A football semifinal featuring the Commerce Tigers coming in at 11-2, taking on the Lincoln County Red Devils, and they come in at 12-1. Football fans from Commerce made the 70-mile trek to the Georgia Dome. The football fans from Lincolnton over 100 miles from almost the Augusta area, and we join you now from the broadcast booth. Hello again, everybody, and welcome. I'm Jim Ginocchio, along with DJ Jones. This is the 7th game of 10 to be played here at the Georgia Dome over this two-day period on GPB. Great athletes that we've had featured throughout this two-day span. And this one, DJ, really features, I think, the irresistible force versus the immovable object. Great offense, great defense from Lincoln County. Commerce comes in ready to go and score some big-time touchdowns.
Commerce comes in with a great offense, a triple threat led by, of course, quarterback Ruben Haynes. But the man of the hour, of course, that we're going to feature right now is that big guy right there, Randy Womack. He's the big fullback there. He rushed for over 1,000 yards, averaging almost 6 yards a carry and 6 touchdowns.
Now, defensively, Josh Beauchamp, the linebacker, he leads the way for this big Commerce team.
The leading tackler on the defense, he's the man in the middle, 4 fumble recoveries, and he's also added an interception to his repertoire.
So, of course, Womack and Beauchamp are the guys to watch on each side of the ball. We also had a chance to catch up with head coach Steve Savage before the game to find out what his game plan is for this semifinal.
Well, Commerce hadn't changed much since 1970. We've been running option football since that time, and we're still at it. You'll see us with either quarterback Ruben Haynes carrying the ball or Randy Womack, our fullback, or we got 2 or 3 little old bitty halfbacks that might get it some. We'll also throw the ball some. First time we've ever had a quarterback that's thrown for over 1,000 and rushed for over 1,000. Defensively now, we are solid up front. You know, that's the strength of our defense. 2 edge players, Alonzo Huff and Dante Martin, have really played well this year. 2 linebackers, Jared Howell and Josh Beecham, also play well. Our secondary is good enough to play. We're kind of average back there, but our defensive front, if we're going to be successful, has got to control the game.
2 legendary coaches today. Steve Savage, the first one, he's got 29 years experience. Now we talk Lincoln County. On offense, boy, I'll tell you what, first they got the 3 cousins, which is incredible. More on them later, but quarterback Brandon Barton leads the way.
Well, Brandon Barton is no stranger to the Dome, of course, the starting quarterback last year on the team. But here's this big 6'5", good-looking quarterback, though. He's a very versatile athlete. Not only does he run the ball, he passes the ball, but he also is used as a receiver in some situations.
Now, the amazing thing about the defense from the Red Devils, they've only given up 45 points all year, led by this guy, Jeff Porter.
Jeff Porter is the catalyst on the defensive side, a 210-pound compact linebacker who knocks your lights out and has 4 sacks on the season.
Earlier, we had a chance to catch up with the legendary head coach, Larry Campbell, with 401 wins and his game plan for today's football semifinal.
Offensively, we do what a lot of folks refer to as a speed sweep, and our offense revolves around that, and off of that, we run a lot of misdirection plays and run the belly play, and it's an offense that we adapted from Wofford College, and we spent some time up there trying to learn it. And on the defensive side of football, we've been a 50 defense forever, unless you do what everybody's doing there and spreading you out. If they spread us out, we go to a 4-3 defense.
Head coach Larry Campbell, of course, he's been around for 35 years. Now we join our 3rd member of our broadcast team. He's downstairs, Gerald Oliveri. Hello, Gerald.
Hey, Jim, well, we're in for a record-breaking game today. With the kickoff of this contest, the Georgia Dome will become the most common venue for playoff games here in the state of Georgia. Coming into the weekend, 100 games had been played here at the Dome, and that was second only to DeKalb County's Hallford Stadium, which would see 106. Now, you already mentioned this is the 7th game of the weekend, which means the Dome is #1. And, Jim, 91 of those games have been seen live right here on GPB, and I guess it's only fitting that this is our 10th anniversary.
Boy, oh boy, I'll tell you what, you've got the stats, that's for sure, Gerald. Hey, Commerce and Lincoln County, the Tigers and the Red Devils. And welcome back to the Georgia Dome, and here come the Lincoln County Red Devils as they get ready to take on the Commerce Tigers in the Class A football semifinal here at the Georgia Dome. Of course, there are the Commerce Tigers. A lot of butterflies in their system right now, DJ, but I bet you they're pumped up and ready to go.
They've been working all year long to get to this point, and now it's finally here. When they leave here, they'll have an opportunity to compete for the Single A state championship.
Kicking off for Commerce will be number 7, Dusty Black. Back deep to receive are the cousins, number 8, Ricardo Norman, and number 9, Ronte Norman, the speedsters. And here's your kickoff. The Single A football semifinal is underway from the Georgia Dome, taken at the 15 by number 8, Ricardo Norman. Norman works his way up past the 40-yard line to about the 43-yard line. Good start and great field position for Lincoln County.
Absolutely, and again, that Norman name, you're going to hear it a lot today because there are 3 starters. They're all seniors on this team. They both go running backs and defensive back, the Norman boys.
And, of course, led by this guy, Brandon Barton, 22 of 54, 394 yards, 6 touchdowns on the year for the senior quarterback as he takes his team to the line of scrimmage, and they go to work 1st and 10 at the 43. Barton pitches. That's Darrell Norman. Darrell's known for a lot of speed, but Darrell this time gets stopped in the backfield by number 10, Alonzo Huff, and number 65, Josh Beauchamp.
We're looking forward.
Here's the offensive lineup for Lincoln County. Here's the front 5. It's Biles, Morris, Rhodes, Sparks, and Matthews at center. The running backs are the Normans. We'll have more about that later. The Jones is at the running back as well. Bradford at wide receiver, and Jones at tight end. We'll tell you all about those athletes as we go throughout the ball game today on GPB. 2nd down, and Barton with the quick toss to Ricardo Norman. And Norman trying to make something of it. Tries to get to about the 48-yard line. Defensively, the front 4 for Commerce, it's Martin, Holland, Huff, and Turner. The linebacking crew is Black, Howell, Adams, and, of course, Beauchamp. And back deep, it's Hill, Thomas, and Adams for Commerce. So those are your starting lineups on the field for both teams. Sets up a 3rd down and 5 for Lincoln County. Brandon Barton, your quarterback, stands 6'4", 205, handoff up the middle. That's Tyler Beal, and Beal looks like he has enough for 1st down.
Great job up front by the Lincoln County offensive line, giving them an opportunity here. You see the handoff there up inside there, but nice yardage there to pick up the 1st down.
So it's a 1st and 10 for Lincoln County at the Commerce 45-yard line. There you see your clock moving, 10:20 left to play here in the opening quarter. Hope you're enjoying the football action all this weekend on GPB. Handoff up the middle, that's Tyler Beal again. And Beal maybe picks up a couple. Good defense by Commerce, DJ.
It is a good defense, but also it's very interesting to see how Brandon Barton is obviously getting the ball to Beal up inside, getting everybody focused on the defensive side of the ball, on the inside run. But you know as well as I do that they have speed on the outside. So when they do go to their triple threat offense, you have to watch the edges.
2nd down and 7 for Lincoln County. 1 wide out to the right. 1 setback, man in motion, handoff up the middle. That's Franklin Jones with his 1st carry of the game, and he takes it to about the 40, pickup of about 3.
You're seeing obviously the nice Commerce defense coming out here, and I know led up by Josh Beauchamp. You know, he broke his face mask against Pacelli the last game, and he's a guy that obviously will have an opportunity to see a lot of today.
There you see the numbers on Franklin Jones on the year. Average per carry of 7.1 yards. I mean, the offensive line has been doing the job for Lincoln County throughout the year. Handoff up the middle, and that's, oh no, fake handoff, and that's Barden keeping the ball. And Barden takes it to the 30, and that's a first down for Lincoln County, brought down by number 55, Dante Martin.
As we take a look at Barden here running up inside, you see the athleticism of a 6'5", 210-pound quarterback slash wide receiver. He can do whatever he wants, but this guy, they call on him to run the ball, they call on him to pass the ball, and they use him as a receiver.
There you see Barden's numbers on the year, and he's rushed several times, averaging just under 7 yards a carry, and he scored 8 times. Now he's checking at the line, possibly calling an audible. Now the pitch, and it goes to Daryl Norman, and Norman is caught in the backfield again. That's unheard of, DJ. I mean, because Daryl's known for a lot of speed.
He is known, but Dante Martin did a great job coming over there. And, of course, as you look at the toss sweep there, number 55 will come into the picture, getting great leverage and staying outside, keeping his outside shoulder free, able to make the play here. Good technique football here by Dante Martin.
And there's Dante Martin's numbers on the year, 62 tackles and 8 sacks for Martin. Second down for Lincoln County. The handoff up the middle to Franklin Jones, and Jones picks up about 2 or 3 yards.
Well, in the early goings here, by the tempo and the pace at which the Commerce defense is coming out, I know that Lincoln County is moving the ball, but I see that these guys have come in with a good attitude, and they understand what's at stake here. They want to knock the big boys off the block.
Yes, they do. Ball is marked at the 27-yard line. It's a 3rd and 7, big 3rd and 7 for Lincoln County. And now we have a whistle blown and a timeout for Lincoln County. So they'll come on over and talk it over with head coach Larry Campbell as they're approaching the red zone. And the Red Devils are on the move, that's for sure. Hey, it's viewers like you that help make great local programs like these high school football games possible on Georgia Public Broadcasting. To show your support, simply visit our website at www.gpb.org. It's totally secure, simple to use, and takes just 2 minutes. And thank you for supporting Georgia Public Broadcasting. And DJ, that's what it's all about. I mean, showing high school football games statewide on Georgia Public Broadcasting. I mean, we hear about it every year this time of the season. It's just like people love watching football on GPB.
I'm from down in Columbus, East Alabama, West Central Georgia area there, and I know that the folks are excited about the broadcast.
Yes, they do. A big crowd coming in as we continue our second day of the football marathon weekend here at the Georgia Dome. Barden on the keeper, goes left side, and is brought down by a number of Tigers, led by number 5, Taylor Adams, and number 10, Alonzo Huff.
You have to like that swarming Tigers defense there. As you see, Barden fakes it up inside and going ahead and keeping it off tackle. But look at all of those black helmets that are coming and swarming on Barden there. You love to see that.
Under 7 minutes to go in the opening quarter. Lincoln County just eating up that clock. And now a big 4th and 2. One wide out to the right. Man in motion. Handoff goes to number 7, Daryl Norman. Norman breaks free. He's at the 10, the 5. Touchdown, Daryl Norman.
A great effort by Daryl Norman, one of the Norman boys, but this guy is the leading rusher. He's the guy that had nearly 1,000 yards and got a little cross-buck action here as you watch the replay there. Great ball fake there, coming on a little misdirection, dips inside, and has a nose for the end zone.
So Norman scores the touchdown. Vance Turner is in to attempt the extra point. Vance Tarver, number 89. The snap and hold is good. The kick is up and it's good. And Lincoln County strikes first as they lead it over Commerce early in the first quarter. 7-0. We'll have more first quarter action for you from the Georgia Dome right after this. And welcome back to the Georgia Dome for the Class A football semifinal between Commerce and Lincoln County. The Red Devils strike first and lead this one 7-0. There you see the scoring drive. 10 plays, 57 yards. DJ Adup 5 minutes and 22 seconds. And, of course, Norman with the 22-yard touchdown run to cap it off.
Well, the Brandon Barton, the quarterback there, definitely used and took advantage of the run up inside, and he even had a couple of carries there, but using some clock here in the early goings.
Vance Tarver kicks it off. Tony Crawford, Josh Hill back deep to receive. It's a short kick and taken by Tony Crawford, and he takes it up to about the 25-yard line, and that's where the Crawford and his team, the Commerce Tigers, will go to work on offense.
Exciting to see that combo there of Haynes and Womack, affectionately known as Thunder and Lightning there. Of course, Haynes being the quarterback who has rushed for the first time in school history, rushed for 1,000 yards and passed for over 1,000 yards.
Incredible. And there you see his numbers. He had 9 touchdowns on the year. So Commerce goes to work 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line. Reuben Haynes, the quarterback, handoff straight up the gut. And that's Randy Womack. And we're going to be calling his number a lot today. Here's your offensive starting lineup in the offensive line. It's Adams, Bowen, Flint, Beauchamp, and Barnes is your center. The running backs is Adams and Hill. The fullback is Womack, and the wide receiver is Cook. The tight end is Black. So more on those players as we cover this game for you on GPB. 2nd and 9 for the Tigers at the 26, and the handoff. No, fake handoff, and the pitch to the left side to Josh Hill, and Hill picked up a couple of yards. Good fake, even faked out our cameraman downstairs. That hardly ever happens.
Absolutely. I tell you what, if Ronte Norman would have made this play, obviously he came up and forced from the corner, but had an opportunity to get a big hit.
Defensively, here's the way they stack up for Lincoln County. Your defensive linemen are Beal, Ferguson, Jones, Wells, and Hurst. The linebackers are Crite and Porter. Back deep for Lincoln County, it's Norman, Wynn, and Norman. So, yeah, you get the idea. We are Norman-dominated. Randy Womack gets the call and takes it up to about the 35, stopped by number 5, Jathius Jones.
Right there, you had an opportunity to see why Randy Womack is the Thunder portion of the Thunder and Lightning duo. Some good yardage there, and you see why he rushed for nearly 1,200 yards this season.
The officials are talking over Gene McLeod, our referee today. This one's going against Commerce.
Illegal motion by the offense, 5 yards from the previous spot. Replay the 3rd down.
There's the Georgia Football Officials Association calling today's game. Gene McLeod, John Austin, Spencer Smith, David Blair, Dudley White, and Dennis Peterson. Here's the snap on 3rd down, and boy, oh boy, the defense of Lincoln County has proven to be too tough now. Wow, good stop by Tyler Beal, number 3.
Tyler Beal did an excellent job there, of course, stringing the play out and actually making the tackle here, but you're talking about a defense that only gave up 2 touchdowns all year long. You take another look here at the play. Watch Taylor keeps outside arm free and obviously making the tackle on the quarterback.
Dusty Black will punt it away for Commerce on 4th down, and back deep to receive is number 9, Ronte Norman. Norman's going to let this bounce at midfield, takes it on one bounce. Here comes Norman trying to turn the corner, can't do it, is brought down at the 44-yard line by number 4, Cohen Cook.
Nice job of coverage there on the punt cover.
Let's go downstairs to Gerald Oliveri. Gerald.
Hey, Jim, you mentioned that they've only allowed 2 touchdowns all year, that being the Lincoln County defense. Well, get this, they've had 8 shutouts in 13 games. Now, this is nothing new for Lincoln County because since Larry Campbell has been the coach, they've shut out 1/3 of their opponents. So their thing is defense, and we saw it right here in the first quarter.
That's true, Gerald. I'll tell you what, they come back. They are the defensive team in the state in the history of high school football. More on that as we go forward. Jathius Jones makes the great catch off the pass from Brandon Barton.
You had an opportunity to see Barton. Obviously, we talked about his versatility He's been running it early on here, but got a chance to see him throw the football, and he's great placement with the football. Committed to Virginia Tech, so it'll be interesting to see what position Barden ends up.
2nd down and 6 for Lincoln County. By the way, this is their 8th trip to the Dome. That's the most of any football team in high school football in the state of Georgia. Washington County made their 7th trip yesterday. Brandon Barden, on the keeper, picks up a couple of yards, and it's all because of that man right there, Larry Campbell. 401 victories, the winningest coach all time in the state of Georgia. And there's the most Dome appearances, as we were talking about. Lincoln County has 8, Washington County 7. Then you see Marist and Charlton County with 6, and 7 other schools are tied with 5. So an incredible winning percentage and consistency down in Lincolnton by that head coach, Larry Campbell. 3rd and 4 from the 49, and the handoff, inside handoff to Ricardo Norman. And Norman maybe picks up a couple of yards, as the Commerce Tiger defense, DJ, is playing tough.
They are playing tough up inside there. Now, you know, you have to be impressed with their defensive line there. Both sides of the ball obviously boasting great defenses, but tell you what, it's going to probably come down to that as the decisiveness of this game, which defense actually plays the best.
There you see Steve Savage looking from the sidelines and trying to figure out what the secret is to beating the Red Devils, who have only given up 45 points all year. We talked about it earlier in the broadcast. Taylor Adams is back deep to receive for Commerce. Kicking it away is Brandon Barden, the quarterback. And here's the punt, end over end, and angling towards the sidelines. And this one's going to be marked out of bounds at the 35-yard line. That's where Commerce will go to work on offense. 1st and 10, DJ.
1st and 10 indeed. And again, once we'll get a chance to see Randy Womack, but there's another look at the guy for 35 years as a head coach at Lincoln County has done something that not too many guys have been able to do. Of course, winning over 400 games, one of only 5, and the 3rd active coach, head coach, high school coach in the country.
Well, this is the 3rd meeting in the Dome between these two teams. You saw that stat there. The last time Commerce won a state championship, they beat the Red Devils. And, you know, that's just incredible. And then Lincoln County did the same thing back in 2005, and they won a state championship. So Randy Womack with the carry, and Womack takes it out to about the 38-yard line.
Take a look at this power running play here. Of course, breaking the tackle there by Travis Hurst. But Womack is definitely the guy that's going to get this thing done for Commerce up inside there. Some bruising, punishing yards to pick up some positive yardage for Commerce.
7-0 Lincoln County in the early going. Under 2 minutes to go, first quarter, 2nd and 2, and the handoff goes to Randy Womack, and Womack is met by the Normans, led by Ricardo Norman and Ronte Norman.
More tough running for Womack up inside, picking up the 1st down, but you gotta love it. This guy doesn't go down after the 1st hit, sometimes doesn't go down after the 2nd hit, but you gotta swarm a guy like this because he's low, built to the ground, low center of gravity, and of course, excellent feet.
Gerald was mentioning earlier about that defense of Lincoln County. Yeah, they've given up 45 points only this year. You know, the starting defense, though, the starters have only given up 17 points. And these guys take pride in playing tough defense against teams like this in Commerce. And I think Ruben Haynes is in trouble, and he is. He goes down at the 46, stopped by number 9, Ronte Norman. I'll tell you what, that defense of Lincoln County is swarming all over the Tigers.
They are swarming all over the place here, but it's going to take a quarterback that's very mobile, like this kid from Commerce, of course, because he pulled up the pass on that last play. As you take a look here, looking out the front side, but no one's open, able to come out the backside. Not quite enough speed, though, but I do like the fact that he made something out of nothing.
And with that, it brings up a 2nd and 7. Ruben Haynes, here you see his numbers on the year. 14 touchdowns for the junior quarterback. Handoff, and that's Womack. No, actually Haynes keeps it, crosses midfield, gets to about the 48-yard line. He's going to be close to a 1st down. They might mark that one a little bit short. Stopped by number 10, Jeff Porter, the linebacker.
Once again, the quarterback, Ruben Haynes, you're able to see his versatility, though, taking the ball up inside, taking it on the edge, and getting some positive yardage.
Clock continues to run, and I don't think Commerce is going to run a play here. They're going to wait and sit this one out as the first quarter winds down here at the Georgia Dome. There's Steve Savage, and he's talking over some game plan to see if they can't strike back against Lincoln County. In the meantime, the first 12 minutes are in the book. Lincoln County leads Commerce 7-0. Second quarter action coming your way from the Georgia Dome right after this. Welcome back to the Georgia Dome. Let's go downstairs to Gerald Oliveri. Gerald.
Hey, Jim, as we get a look at Ruben Haynes for Commerce, the quarterback, we got to take back a look at his older brother, Josh Haynes. He was the starting quarterback here. He played for Commerce in 2001 to 2003. But when Josh was here, Ruben was actually the water boy. Now, we talked to Coach Savage before the game, and he said that Ruben has worked very hard to get to where he's at. He's very intelligent, and he's the smartest kid in his class.
Boy, isn't that great? Football runs through the family, but how many times do you hear about that throughout the state of Georgia, DJ?
Well, you know what? It's a special story, and it's a special time for this young man as well.
Great story. 3rd down and 2 for Commerce at the 49-yard line, and the handoff up the middle. No, fake handoff. Haynes keeps it and does a great job in picking up the first down for Commerce. Stopped by number 3, Tyler Beal.
Once again, you're getting a look at, and you're seeing why this kid is rushed for 1,000 yards as well as passing for 1,000 yards. You see him faking up inside, but watch him make a miss there. Up inside, breaking a tackle and picking up more positive yardage.
If you're just joining us, the second quarter just underway from the Georgia Dome. Jim Ginocchio, DJ Jones, and Gerald Oliveri bringing you the action. Lincoln County and Commerce. Red Devils lead it 7-0 here in the early going. Ruben Haynes looking long, has a man downfield. Incomplete, intended for number 5, Taylor Adams. Good defense by number 5, Jathius Jones, and number 7, Darrell Norman, DJ.
Jathius Jones in great position there, and of course, when the ball goes in the air, the defender should treat it like it's his, and he got great position there, of course, covering Taylor Adams, actually. You take another look here at Haynes gets in the ball. Nice touch, but when that ball's in the air, the defensive back can also become the receiver, and great job, great coverage, great positioning by the defender.
That sets up a 2nd and 10 for the Tigers. And a bad snap, loose ball. Haynes looks to jump on it, and he does recover his own fumble back at the 49-yard line of Commerce.
That was a funny-looking play, the way that ball shot out of there after an attempted handoff. We'll take a look at here and see what happened. Actually, he dropped the ball. Haynes dropped the ball and was kicked by one of his linemen. Great job of hustling, getting that ball back for Commerce.
There's Coach Steve Savage, and he just picked up another gray hair on that play.
This guy's been there for 29 years as the head coach.
So it's back up to the Commerce 49-yard line, which sets up a 3rd down and 17. Haynes in the shotgun, looks downfield, has a man, incomplete, in and out of the hands of number 1, Tony Crawford, his favorite receiver. Ronte Norman, number 9, almost came up with an interception.
Well, Crawford ran an excellent route, and the quarterback was able to put the ball right where he needed to. Unfortunately for Commerce, they didn't capitalize on that particular play.
So Commerce will have to punt it away. Number 7, Dusty Black, will do the punting for Commerce. And back deep to receive for Lincoln County, number 9, Ronte Norman. Here's the punt by Black. End over end, angled kick. And it bounces at the 25 and continues to roll and is going to be touched down at the 18-yard line of Lincoln County, and that's where the Red Devils will go to work. DJ, your thoughts so far in the first 14 minutes of football?
Well, coming into this game, I thought maybe Lincoln County would have had the advantage with a great defense and the versatile offense here, but I'm seeing and I'm impressed with Commerce, and they're able to hang in here. They're fighting, they're scrapping, and that's, I'm sure, why we have such a good game thus far.
Okay, so Lincoln County offense goes to work, led by quarterback Brandon Barton. They start at their own 18-yard line. Man in motion is Norman. The handoff up the middle goes to number 4, Franklin Jones, and Jones picks up about 4 yards on the play.
Good push by the offensive line of Lincoln County. The Red Devils got about 4 yards on the play.
So that'll bring up a 2nd, and looks like they marked it at the 23, so that'll bring up a 2nd and 5 for Lincoln County. downfield, has a man. That's Ronte Norman. Norman tries to turn the corner, finally brought down at the 35-yard line. Good coverage by the Tigers
We'll take
on
a look.
Ronte Norman.
Take a look at the versatile quarterback, Barton, delivering the ball out to Norman in the flat. Ronte, that is. Good move out there. Nice play.
Good stop by number 5, Taylor Adams, and number 9, Josh Hill for Commerce as you look at Ronte Norman. 1st and 10 at the 35. Handoff. Coming left side, it's Ronte Norman. And Norman picks up a couple. So these Norman Cousins, they have a lot of speed, but they can't break through that offensive line right there.
Again, I'm just really, really surprised, and I don't know if I'm shocked because, again, we saw these kids last year, and we know that those Norman kids in the backfield usually break into open field and get long runs, but a great job in disciplined defense by Commerce up to this point.
There's Ronte Norman. There you see his numbers on the year. He doesn't get the ball often, but when he does, he's effective, that's for sure. 2nd and 8, Barton on the keeper. Barton breaks through, gets to midfield. Great quarterback keeper from Brandon Barton. Stopped by number 5, Taylor Adams.
Excellent job of faking the ball up inside by Barton. You see there, a lot of the defenders took the lead back, but he kept the ball and got out there and used all of that 6'5", 220-pound body to pick up about 7 or 8 yards for the first down.
Clock continues to move, under 9 minutes till halftime. This one's moving a lot quicker than yesterday's ball game, I'll tell you what.
Yes,
it's just jetting right through it. 1st and 10 from midfield for Lincoln County. Barton's looking to check off and call an audible here. And it's Norman off the pitch. And it's Ronte Norman getting to about the 41-yard line. Good run and pickup on 1st down by Ronte Norman. That sets up a 2nd and short, DJ. And everybody likes to have a 2nd and short.
Take a look at this toss into the short side of the field. It's been a very successful play for Lincoln County this year. Seeing Norman turning up inside there, getting the positive yardage.
So the ball's marked at the 41. Ronte on the bench gets a breather. Plenty more ammunition that comes off the bench to replace Ronte, like a guy like this one here, number 7, Darryl Norman, who gets the pitch. Darryl fights through traffic, now fumbles the football, and it looks like Commerce has come up with it. Number 9, Josh Hill jumped on it, and the Tigers will take over.
Great job of Josh Hill hustling over to get the fumble there. Darryl Norman, the leading rusher for Lincoln County, takes the sweep, gets to the outside there. And you notice Josh Hill basically keeping leverage there, not letting him get outside, and then was able to recover the fumble. I'll take a look at it once again, getting to the outside on the edge there, but the defender's doing a nice job of keeping contained out there, and Hill gets the fumble recovery.
Josh Hill, 29 tackles on the year, 3 interceptions, and a big fumble recovery there to give the Tigers a 1st and 10. And now it's Reuben Haynes, and Haynes on the keeper as he tries to make something happen on 1st down. There you see the football fans that have made the trip from Commerce to root for their Tigers here under the big top. And oh yeah, go Dusty, number 7 there.
Tell you, that one wasn't a bad drive down to the Dome from Commerce, huh?
Not bad at all. So that sets up a 2nd down, and we'll call it 5, or call it 6 for Commerce. Haynes on the keeper, cross midfield, has a 1st down for the Tigers.
Both quarterbacks doing a great job of riding that fullback up inside and taking it out, and of course making the read on the edge.
Stopped by number 75, Tony Wells of Lincoln County. Ball's marked at the 48. That's where it's going to be 1st and 10 for Commerce. Reuben Haynes, your quarterback. 2 wide outs, 1 split to the left, 1 to the right. Man in motion, handoff up the middle, and that is Womack.
Good looking running play there. Again, this is a physical running back. This young man is a very powerful young man, 600-pound squatter. And you can tell as he breaks tackles up inside, they're running into the heart of the Lincoln County defense.
Commerce Tigers, the 2000 state champions, beat the Red Devils in the semifinals. And, you know, that's what it's all about, right? I mean, you know, it takes a tough, you got to beat the tough ones to get to the championship. And Commerce did that back in 2000. So, hey, Reuben Haynes with the ball carry, and he takes it inside the 40, stopped by number 10, Jeffrey Porter.
Another good job by Haynes. Excuse me. Taking it up inside to Womack. But again, breaking tackles there, those arm tackles, that's a great job by the quarterback.
Some of the cheerleaders that made the trip. Of course, the bands are here. The fans are here. The moms and dads and cousins and uncles, they're all here to root for their team. 1st and 10 at the 38-yard line. Haynes to Womack, and Womack explodes up the middle. Inside the 30-yard line goes Womack. Brought down by a couple of guys from Lincoln County, including number 24, Carlos Hurst. Here it is.
What's so impressive is that we know the fact that Womack is an excellent running back, but look at how he's earning his yards, right up into the heart of the Lincoln County defense.
Timeout on the field for Commerce as they're looking to get close to that Lincoln County red zone. So far, DJ, both teams playing really well on offense and especially well on defense.
Yes, indeed. But you have to love the tempo of this game here in the early going. Both teams know what's at stake.
While we have this timeout, earlier we had a chance to catch up with head coach Steve Savage to talk about what's special about coaching the Tigers.
We've got 17 seniors on our team, and that's a lot for a single-A school. Normally we run somewhere between 8 and 10, 12 on occasions in a big year, but 17's a lot for us. The chemistry's been really, really good. We're not tremendously talented like we have been in some years, but chemistry goes a long way.
Chemistry does go a long way, DJ. I mean, you know, these guys are on the field with each other, you know, in practice beginning in August. And working hard through training camp and the weight room, and then a tough regular season schedule, then the postseason, and now playing together at the Georgia Dome. I mean, it really is truly a big family when it comes here.
That was a key point by Coach Savage, and of course highlighting the 17 seniors that are the leaders of this Commerce football team.
So the Tigers have it at the 29-yard line, 2nd and 1, and the handoff to Womack. No, Haynes actually on the keeper, and it looks like Haynes might have enough for a first down.
Really impressed with Reuben Haynes and his ability to keep the chains moving for this Commerce offense.
And it is a first down. There you see the quarterback, Reuben Haynes, for Commerce. As the clock continues to move in a very quick first half in the single-A football semifinal. Handoff to fake handoff to Womack, and it's Reuben Haynes again, calling his own number and getting to about the 23-yard line, stopped by number 7, Darrell Norman, and number 42, Keith Christ, the linebacker.
Great look at that triple threat offense there. The first threat being Womack up inside, and of course the second being with the quarterback Haynes keeping it on the corner. But the third part of that threat is the pitch on the edge.
Here you see Haynes' numbers on the day, averaging 3 yards a carry. Is the junior quarterback. 2nd and 6 from the 23-yard line. And this time it's Womack up the middle. And, you know, it almost looks like, DJ, you know, it's like Haynes has kept the ball so many times that when it gets to Womack, it's a surprise.
That's right. He does a good job there up inside. But look at the tough running here of Womack, breaking tackles. And, again, I just can't reiterate the fact that he is getting the tough yards up inside of a very, very tough Lincoln County defense.
Good defensive play by number 8, Ricardo Norman. Randy Womack, 6 rushes, 36 yards on the day. He's averaging 6 yards a carry as the senior. On 1st and 10 at the 15-yard line. Tigers are in the red zone, and here they go. It's Ruben Haynes, and this time the Red Devils will have nothing to do with it. Good stop by number 42, Keith Wright.
Also, Tyler Beal is a big hitter in there, getting a piece of that action. Take a look here. As Womack gets the ball, goes up inside, and you're right. Keith Wright had me fooled there. I saw the big hit by Beal on Womack up inside, and he's doing such a tremendous job hiding the football.
The seniors had a big year, 81 tackles, 4 sacks on the year. That sets up a 2nd and 12 as the Tigers back up a couple of yards. Haynes on the keeper, gets to the 15, works his way down to about the 11-yard line.
You notice, obviously, with the, every play, you're getting 4, 5, 6 yards and eating up the clock. It's a great opportunity here with inside of 3 minutes left in the first half to tie this game up for Commerce.
They spot the ball at the 12, setting up a 3rd down. And now it looks like there's a timeout on the field. Nope. Both teams are coming back. Here you see Steve Savage. Got an equipment problem down the field is what we're told.
When you talk about these two coaches, and Savage with 29 years and, of course, Coach Campbell with 35 years, we'll talk a little bit about that in just a little bit. All those years of combined head coaching experience.
3rd and 7, a big 3rd and 7 for the Tigers. And it's Ruben Haynes on the pitch off the option to Josh Hill. And Hill is close to a 1st down for Commerce.
You get an excellent look here as how he's getting the fake it up inside, take it to the edge, get the read, and pitches all 3 steps of that triple threat offense.
Good defensive play by number 7, Daryl Norman, on the sidelines to save it from Commerce getting a 1st down. Yeah, DJ?
Jim, over 60 years of head coaching experience between the two head coaches, and it's no secret why these two teams are meeting here today.
Oh, yeah. You got that right. Takes a lot of experience. We'll take a timeout here from the Georgia Dome. 2:27 left to go till halftime, and it's Lincoln County leading Commerce 7-0. And back here at the Georgia Dome, Lincoln County has the lead 7-0, but Commerce is knocking on the door. They're on the 7-yard line. Commerce had to call a timeout because the place kicker, Dusty Black, was trying to change into his kicking shoe and couldn't get it on in time, so they were forced to call a timeout. And there you see Dusty right there as he lines it up for a 24-yard attempt to put Commerce on the board. There's the snap, the hold, the kick, it's up, and it is good. So Commerce gets on the board with a 24-yard field goal from Dusty Black. And now it's Lincoln County 7 and Commerce 3.
Well, this certainly, we saw exactly what we all talked about in the very early goings with the quarterback, Haynes, for Commerce, using the run, of course, his feet as well as Big Womack up inside, and, of course, got him down to get him 3 points.
This series between Lincoln County and Commerce really has been a series of streaks. Lincoln County won the first 5 meetings between these two teams. Then Commerce won the next 4 straight. And now Lincoln County has won the next 4 straight. So it's a series of streaks between these two. Upcoming games later on today, the AA semifinal. Charlton County will take on Early County at 3 p.m. At 6 p.m. tonight, it's the 5A semifinal. Roswell and Tift County. The Hornets are coming to the Dome. And the 5A semifinal, the other one, Peachtree Ridge, will play in the finale. So as we get ready to kick it off,
interview while you're working, buffer, okay?
It's Dusty Block. And of course, Peachtree Ridge will take on Warner Robins tonight in that final semifinal game. Here's a kick, the kickoff, and it's fielded by number 5, Jakeith Jones. and Jones is brought down at the 32-yard line.
Nice job by Cohen Cook. The senior got down there for the big hit.
So Lincoln County goes back to work on offense at the 31-yard line, led by quarterback Brandon Barden. He's the senior, stands 6'4", 205. DJ, you know, standing at 6'4" for a quarterback, that's pretty good, isn't it?
It's pretty good, but even what's better, the fact that this kid's already scored over 1,000 points on his SAT and has committed to Virginia Tech. So the kid not only is a nice physical specimen, but he's a smart kid as well.
There you see the scoring drive for Commerce as they put 3 on the board. Barden scrambles in the backfield and under pressure finally runs out of bounds at about the 29-yard line. Good defense by the Commerce Tigers, DJ.
Indeed. And of course, when we're talking about the quarterback, Barton, you know, his GPA is 93%. Now, that's pretty doggone good. 93%, that's an A in my book.
Yes. In my book, too. Brandon Barden of Lincoln County in his senior season. There's your total yards so far for the game. Lincoln County 104 and Commerce with 72. As the defenses prove to be tough in this single-A semifinal. Ricardo Norman looks to turn the corner on the left side, gets to about the 35-yard line, stopped by number 55, Dante Martin.
Tell you what, that's a great pursuit angles taken here. If you take a look at the play here, the toss sweep by Ricardo Norman, he can't get outside of this quick Commerce defense there. Great job of leverage by Alonzo Huff, keeping his outside shoulder free, and you don't understand how important it is when you're going up against a speedy team like Lincoln County of maintaining that leverage and keeping your outside arm free so that you can't let your guy outside of you.
Ball's placed to the 36-yard line, a 3rd and 5 for Lincoln County. 2 wide out, split 1 left and 1 to the right. Now the referees stop play, and Lincoln County calls a timeout. So Larry Campbell might have something up his sleeve here in this final minute 28 to see about getting on the board one more time. By the way, folks, this game can also be viewed live on the GPB internet site around the world at www.gpb.org. Just follow the links to connect to the game. Every game will be archived and available later on the GPB website as well. That's www.gpb.org. And DJ, isn't it nice to know you can go home and just watch it right there? I mean, you get to see you get to do the game in the afternoon. You get to see it later on this afternoon. I mean, hey, you know, can't beat that.
It works out just fine over the upcoming holidays when all the family's around and you get an opportunity to pull it out there and you get to show us doing our thing, huh?
Timeouts remaining. Commerce has 2 so far left in the half, and Lincoln County has used up all their timeouts. Well, we said it would be a defensive struggle for both teams. These defenses are tough. The offenses have been struggling big time. Lincoln County trying to get some more points on the board. We got a double reverse here. No, fake on the end around. This is Daryl Norman trying to break loose. And Daryl Norman got some real estate. And he also has a lot of speed. He gets it down to the 20-yard line. Finally brought down by number 55, Dante Martin.
What you just saw is what I was talking about a little earlier, and I was praising the defense of Commerce for being able to contain these speedy backs. Both these Norman kids are outstanding, but more importantly here, you're seeing the open field running of Daryl Norman, the leading rusher for this Lincoln County team. Great job in open field. This kid obviously has great vision, and he's a very elusive running back.
That play was good for 44 yards. Barden looks downfield, incomplete. Intended for number 27, Alex Bradford, as they try to get on the board quickly. And I'll tell you what, Larry Campbell did pull something out of his bag of tricks.
He did there. I know that Barton obviously misfired there because he had Alex Bradford in the seams there, but just overthrew him just a little bit.
The crowd is buzzing after that big play. And now Commerce wants to take a timeout and talk about it, as Larry Campbell threw a surprise at the Tiger defense 1:06 till halftime. While we have this timeout, early we had a chance to talk to head coach Larry Campbell and talk about why it's so special to coach these special Red Devils from Lincolnton.
Well, I got quite a few seniors. You know, a lot of our skill people returned from last year, but our offensive and defensive linemen were just about completely all new. And the key to our season was going to be how well those kids, you know, whether they got better or whether they didn't get better, and fortunately they have. And to get to this point in Class A, you can't have any injuries. And we've been very fortunate in that area to avoid any major injury. We've been beat up a few times, but nobody's been out for the season yet.
Legendary coach Larry Campbell, 401 wins, just 69 losses, and three ties. The winningest coach ever in Georgia high school football. Incredible coach from Lincolnton. Barden in trouble on the scramble, looks downfield, throws, has a man. It's Ronte Norman. What a catch by Ronte Norman. What a play by Barden, DJ,
Absolutely.
to create it.
Yes, indeed. Of course, breathing down his neck was Dante Martin. As you'll see, Barden rolls a little bit to his right there, but right there, Dante Martin heavy on his trail. He's able to get the ball downfield and caught by Norman. Nice execution.
And he threw that ball in traffic, too.
Yes.
I mean, there were three Tigers right around him.
Yes, absolutely. It's one thing to be able to throw and complete a pass, but when you're throwing it knowing that you have, a 6-foot, 200-pound linebacker going to hit you in the jaw when you get thrown, when you release the ball, that's another story.
Yeah, oh yeah, remember the days. So now we have a first down at the 11-yard line, so Lincoln County can actually pick up a first down at the 1. But time is critical now, just 58 seconds to go till halftime. Barden rolls left, in trouble again, looks downfield. Barden finally decides to take it and run it downfield, and he gets inside the 10-yard line. Actually, they mark him out at the 10-yard line, and he was forced out by a couple of good defenders from Commerce, including number 7, Dusty Black.
Take a look at the nifty feet of Barden as he eluded the rush there by Dusty Black, but able again to get outside there and a play that probably should have been a sack.
So that play took 8 seconds off the clock. It's now second down. Brandon Barden, there you see his numbers on the day, 4 of 5 for 32 yards. He's also rushed 6 times for 29. The senior has had a busy day, as both quarterbacks have. One wide out to the left. Barden looks, throws, and incomplete. Intended for Tyler Beal coming out of the backfield.
If he would have been able to get that ball to Tyler Beal, he would have walked into the end zone really easily there. But of course, the rush, the stunts coming at him, obviously, he was pulled up a little short.
Larry Campbell calling in the next play. Big third down and 9 for Lincoln County as the coach gets a shot there of Brandon Barden in the huddle with the team. So a 3rd and 9. Barden, 2-step drop, looks in the end zone, fires, and that's going to be pass interference. Jathius Jones, the intended receiver. Tony Crawford, the defensive back on the play, and that could set up a first down and goal for Lincoln County.
Well, when you get down here on the goal, obviously you don't want him to catch a touchdown, but if you don't think that you can cover the guy, Tony Crawford did what he had to do. But your bottom line is on a fade route, you got to get your head around as a defensive back, because the ball is, once it's in the air, is yours as well. And you see that he never got his head around. That's what he's guilty of.
Pass interference by the defense, half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
So there you have it, 1st and goal, as referee Gene McLeod explains it. 1st and goal for Lincoln County at the 5-yard line. One wide out to the left. Barden drops back, looks in the end zone, now fires, has a man, and that's Beal again, and Tyler Beal gets back to the line of scrimmage at the 5-yard line. Clock continues to run. Remember, Lincoln County has no timeouts. 25 seconds and counting on 2nd and goal. And Barton just throws it down to stop the clock with 20 seconds, setting up a 3rd down from the 6-yard line.
One thing for sure, Commerce defensive coaches are doing a great job of sending guys after Barton on the pass plays here. Of course, not making it easy for him. You know, when guys are flying around in your face, you got to make a decision. You can't just sit back there and pick and choose.
There you see head coach Steve Savage. Just another winning coach. Over the years, Savage's head coach Savage, 157, 62, and 0. What a great years at Commerce. Pass over the middle, and then we have more pass interference coming up. Pass was intended for Alex Bradford, and Tony Crawford was on that play again.
Actually, Josh Hill was the corner in this play. We'll take a look at it as Barton just raises up and wants to hit the slant here. As you see Josh Hill, you know what? I beg to differ. As a former defensive back,
Pass interference by the defense, half the distance to the goal, automatic 1st down.
that ball should be just as much Josh Hill as it would be the receiver. But that's why I'm up here in the booth, and that's why those guys in the striped shirts are where they are.
Yeah, you're right about that. 1st and goal at the 3, but more importantly, just 15 seconds to go, so they're going to have to punch it in here soon. Barton's in trouble, and down goes Barton. Brought down by number 7, Dusty Black, and a great play by number 55, Dante Martin.
That's what I'm talking about, not giving this young man an opportunity to...
Clock's running, and they have run out of time. That's it.
Great job by Commerce. Take a look at this here. The big, strong quarterback standing in the pocket gets hit right in the mouth by Dusty Black, and you don't give him time to even think about it. Now, the momentum definitely will be with Commerce going in after a big play on defense.
7-3 Lincoln County over Commerce. We'll take a timeout, be back for the halftime festivities. Well, first, let's take it downstairs to Gerald Oliveri. Gerald?
Thanks a lot, Jim. I'm here with Coach Campbell. Just talk about that last series. It was a lot of emotion out there. What happened?
Stupid mistakes on the head coach, poor play calling.
What, if anything, do you think your team can improve on in the second half?
We got to stop the midline. It's what they run all night, midline and veer. We practiced it all week. Our linebackers weren't getting there on the midline and veer. You got to stop it.
All right, well, thanks a lot, Coach. Good luck in the second half. Back up to you, Jim.
Thank you, Gerald. And what can you say? The coach, when he says it, that's it. Halftime here at the Georgia Dome. Lincoln County has the lead over Commerce. 7-3 halftime festivities coming your way right after this. And welcome back to the Georgia Dome. Halftime of the Class A football semifinal between Lincoln County and Commerce. Of course, the Red Devils have the lead over the Tigers, 7-3. And now we watch the Marching Tiger Band. The band director is Jack Balthaser. There are 69 band members on the field, and they're going to have a performance of Crazy, Wild, and Free. Crazy Train by Ozzy Osbourne, Born to Be Wild by Steppenwolf, and Freebird by Leonard Skinner. All right, the Commerce High School Marching Tiger Band. Let's go downstairs to Gerald Oliveri. Gerald?
Thanks a lot, Jim. I'm here with Jack Balthazar, the band director for the Marching Tiger Band. This is his 5th season as the band director, and it's been 6 years since you've been back here. Just talk about the feeling of playing back in the Dome again.
Oh, the kids are real excited because they're old enough to remember the last times we were here 6 years ago, and they've heard all the stories, and so they are really been excited. This is a highlight for all of them.
Talk about the community support of supporting the band and coming down here as they play.
Well, our people are great. Commerce people get behind everything that we do. They love this band. They love our program, and they support us in everything. They're really good for us.
How about upcoming performances? Do you have any performances of note you want to talk about?
We are. Our next big performance is a performance in April at Disney World in Orlando, and these kids are really excited about that. Get a few days down in the sun and go to the beach and do all that kind of stuff.
Oh, hang out with Mickey Mouse
That's
as well.
Right, hanging out with Mickey Mouse.
As well. Also, just talk about just being back here. Last time you were here, the team won the game and went on to the state title.
Well, it was exciting. We were behind the whole first half. We didn't get anything going. It was Lincoln County again last time, and in the last quarter, our running back broke loose, and we won it at the end. Won the state championship.
All right, well, thanks a lot, Jack. Good to speak with you. Send it back up to Jim.
All right, thank you, Gerald. Halftime festivities roll on here from the Georgia Dome. Up next, the Red Devil Pride Band. As they're taking the field, we'll have it for you right after this. Back here at the Georgia Dome, halftime of the GHSA Single A semifinal. Lincoln County leading it 7-3. On the field now is the Red Devil Pride Band under the direction of band director Jasper Dukes. They're playing songs today of Waiting for Tonight, the Nigerian Mambo, and Isn't She Lovely? The Red Devil Pride Band from Lincoln County. Now we go downstairs to Gerald Oliveri. Gerald.
Hey, thanks a lot, Jim. I'm here with Jasper Dukes. Now, 4 out of the 5 years that you've been the band director, you brought the band to the Georgia Dome. You're like a veteran.
Yeah, it feels that way. The students have worked extremely hard. They look forward to this each year, and we're just so privileged to have the opportunity to be back here again.
Your band has played well here today. I know they've won 24 trophies on the year. You must be very proud of them.
Extremely proud. The kids work hard, as I said, and we get great support from the parents, from the community, and especially our band booster club. They work extremely hard to support the band.
Well, the band has done well today. We appreciate you being here with us, and thank you on the performance.
Thank you.
I'll send it back up to you, Jim.
All right, thanks, Gerald. Halftime festivities roll on. Here are the first half highlights. We're going to call these the Lucky 7 highlights because number 7, Daryl Norman, 22-yard touchdown run right here for Lincoln County. DJ.
Great, awesome run there. Great individual effort getting the ball into the end zone for Lincoln County.
Now, speaking of Lucky 7, hey, oh, by the way, number 7, Dusty Black, a 24-yard field goal.
He's a versatile athlete, as you see him kicking the field goal there.
And it made it 7-3. And then, oh, by the way, Lucky 7 again. It's Dusty Black, number 7.
I mentioned that versatility. He gets in on the sack there to put Brandon down.
So the Lucky 7 highlights are done, and there's your halftime numbers. And I'll tell you what, that defense of Lincoln County, DJ, is amazing, only giving up 72 total yards. Lincoln County only has 155 as it is.
But the good thing about those 72 yards that Commerce has, they've eaten up 11 minutes and 17 seconds of clock.
Incredible. So it's interesting. We said off the top of the show about defense, you know, taking control of the football game, and they certainly have here. Let's go downstairs to Gerald Oliveri. Gerald?
Hey, Jim, I'm here with Coach Savage now. Except for that one long drive at the end of the second quarter, I mean, pretty much it was back and forth, and you got to be happy with the way things are so far.
Oh, I'm happy with the score being 7-3 right now. I thought we did a good job of holding them out of the end zone down there at the end. It didn't look good for a while, but we finally held them out.
What do you plan to do different, if anything, in the second half?
We're going to try to do the same thing we've been doing. I suspect they'll try to do the same thing they were doing as well, and see if we can't score more points in the second half than they do.
All right, well, good luck, Coach. I'll send it back up to you, Jim.
That's usually the secret. Coming up next, the second half kickoff between Lincoln County and Commerce. We'll have it for you on GPB. Welcome back to the Georgia Dome. Lincoln County leads at 7-3 over Commerce as we begin the third quarter of play in the Single-A football semifinal. And, of course, a close game, and no surprise between these two. Of the 13 meetings between these two teams, 6 of these have been decided by 7 points or less. So no surprise there. Kicking off is Vance Tarver for Lincoln County. Back deep to receive Tony Crawford and Josh Hill. And the second half is underway with an angled kick that goes out of bounds at the 11-yard line.
Jim, keep in mind they're finishing the last play of the first half. The momentum shifted, in my mind, to Commerce with the sack on Brandon Bartman. Now they get the ball back if they're able to go down the field. This game here could be one of the best in the couple of days that we've been doing these broadcasts.
Ruben Haynes, there you see him taking the field, the quarterback for Commerce. And the junior has had a busy, busy day, both running and throwing the football. And so there it is, 1st and 10 at the 35 with the angle kick going out of bounds by Lincoln County. Gets marked at the 35. First play from scrimmage, and look out, Ruben Haynes is brought down immediately by number 42, Keith Kreit. What a play, DJ, by Kreit.
Well, obviously you see Coach Campbell has gone back in at halftime, and it must have had something to say because the defense comes out. An outstanding play there by Kreit, getting to a quarterback that actually gave him fits a little earlier. You see there, great job of getting it. We didn't see any of this in the first half. We saw a whole lot of Haynes getting out on the edge and gaining positive yards. Not that time.
That's right. That was for -2, so that sets up a 2nd and 12. 2 wide outs to the right. 1 set back in motion. Here's the pitch. Goes to number 5. That's Taylor Adams. And Adams is run out of bounds by number 8, Ricardo Norman. Lincoln County comes out of the gate, and boy, I tell you what, they're just like using their speed to their advantage.
Well, you saw going in when we did get a chance to hear from Coach Campbell, he wasn't too happy. He said it was his fault, so I can only imagine he went in and lit a fire up under Lincoln County, and the first 2 plays definitely have been in favor of Lincoln County.
Well, you know, they gave up 72 yards in the first half, and now they've given up -4. So I think they're working it back there, you know. I mean, they're trying. I think Larry's trying to get it under 20 yards for the game or something. 3rd and 14 for Commerce. And the handoff up the middle, it's Womack, and he might have picked up a yard. Boy, look at that, number 42, Keith Crite on the play again, DJ.
Well, Crite is he's a head knocker there, man. He's the head one on, he's the leader, one of the big leaders on that defense. And again, 2 big plays here in this opening series.
And it looks like Womack is limping, number 21 for Commerce, trying to catch his breath as we get set for a 4th down here. Dusty Black back to punt for Commerce. Back deep is Ronte Norman, number 9 for Lincoln County. Here's the punt. It's an end-over-end kick, and this one hits at the 35 and takes a Commerce roll. And wow, it goes all the way down to the 17, 18-yard line of Lincoln County, and that's where the Red Devil offense will go back to work, led by quarterback Brandon Barden.
I'm sure that Coach Campbell's going to have some words for Ronte Norman, not normally letting the ball hit the ground. He usually feels it, but again, losing about 18 yards there with the bounce that he could have eliminated by just catching it.
There you see Larry Campbell. A lot of success over the years. There's Brandon Barden, the quarterback, the senior, and the handoff goes to number 4, Franklin Jones. Jones has carried the ball a handful of times today. Dante Martin was the stop, number 55 for Commerce.
Well, I'll be eager to see what affected that little break. And again, going in at halftime, the momentum, as I thought, shifted with Commerce, and we'll see how they play on the defensive side since the offense didn't come out and answer the bell.
Ball's marked at the 20-yard line, sets up a 2nd down and 8. Good shot from our end zone camera of the quarterback, Brandon Barden. Barden with the pitch to Ricardo Norman. Norman tries to turn the corner, and what a defensive play by number 57, Morgan Adams of Commerce.
Morgan Adams, a textbook play here, controlling and playing discipline in with his assignment. Obviously, you see him come into the picture there, was able to beat the block there and make a nice tackle for a loss.
So the ball's moved back to about the 17-yard line as you look at Morgan Adams from Commerce. Stands 6'3", 225. He's a senior. There's Barden, the quarterback. He's at 6'4", 205. Barden looks downfield, fires, has a man complete to number 27, Alex Bradford. And looks like Bradford has plenty for a 1st down for Lincoln County. Good play, DJ.
Now, this might look like an ordinary play, but if you noticed the pass here, he's standing on the hash on one side, and he's completing an out to the opposite side of the field. That's a good throw, an accurate throw by a very good football player.
Good pitch and catch. 1st down, Lincoln County at the 34-yard line. Some of the fans that made the trip for the semifinal game here at the Georgia Dome. And the keeper by Barden. He's across the 40 to the 45. Midfield is Barden into Commerce territory at the 47-yard line. Finally stopped by number 1, Tony Crawford.
Here's another look at the quickness of Barden getting to the edge here. 6'5", 220 pounds, showing some good quickness there for a nice pickup. Good ball fake up inside, and again, turning on the Astroburners.
Good play by Barden. So they're at the 47-yard line, 1st and 10. Larry Campbell likes what he sees so far here in the early going of the 2nd half. Pitched by Barden to number 7, Darryl Norman, and Norman again cannot turn the corner. Great defensive play by number 5, Taylor Adams.
And as you notice on this pitch, it's just a little behind him there, but that was just enough to get Taylor Adams an opportunity to get a hand on him and get him to the ground.
You mentioned earlier, Darrell Norman is one of the fastest players on the field, if not probably in all of high school football here in the state. If he turns the corner, you'll get a chance to see just how fast he is. He's an incredible athlete.
He's also a sprinter on the track team for Lincoln County.
What does that tell you? Ronte Norman in motion. Barden on the keeper, and he gets up to about the 35-yard line. Great play by Barden, finally brought down by number 7, Dusty Black.
Barden once again doing a good job of moving the chains for the Lincoln County offense. The big 6'5" quarterback taking it exactly what the Tigers defense is giving him.
Clock continues to count down. 7:30 coming up on left in the third quarter. One wide out to the left. Ronte Norman in motion. Handoff up the middle. That's number 3, Tyler Beal. Beal crosses inside the 30 and then runs into a traffic jam.
Beal up inside for some tough yardage there. He's so low to the ground there. He almost gets caught hidden behind the offensive line of Lincoln County.
So the ball's at the 29-yard line and under 7 minutes to go. DJ, the Red Devils just keep running the football and running the clock and running the football and running the clock. And that's what it's about. 2nd and 4. And the handoff to Tyler Beal, and Beal maybe picks up a yard on the play. Stopped by number 79, Aaron Holland.
Holland did a great job of getting penetration on this very talented Lincoln County offensive line to make the play. But you know, the whole thing with running this football the way they have been here so far in the first half and also in the second half is that it's eating clock. And I know that this is a low-scoring game thus far, but it won't be a whole lot of points scored if they continue to play the way they're playing.
Big 3rd down and 2 for Lincoln County. And Barden on the keeper, and Barden is going nowhere. Brought down again by number 79, Aaron Holland. Good defensive play by Commerce.
Great job by the Commerce defense as Holland stunned it right into the running lane to make the play.
Also assisted by number 31, Brandon Turner on the defense. The Tigers were all over the Red Devils on that one. And there goes Brandon Turner off the field to take a breather. So it sets up a 4th and 2, and it looks like Larry Campbell has decided to go for it at the 27. So this is a big play in the game right here for Lincoln County and Commerce. Crowd on their feet here at the Georgia Dome on a 4th and 2. Great shot down the line of scrimmage. Barden rolls right, has a man, throws over Ronte Norman, incomplete. And Commerce will take over on downs.
Once again, Dusty Black had something to do with that play not being completed for Lincoln County. But that was, as you mentioned, a huge play. Take another look at it here as Barden, play action fake, rolls a little bit to the right, tries to place it in there, but obviously Dusty Black was between the ball carrier, actually the receiver and the quarterback.
All right, DJ. We'll take a timeout here from the Georgia Dome. 5 minutes, 12 seconds left, third quarter. Lincoln County leads it 7-3. Back here at the Georgia Dome, Reuben Haynes took a shot on that play and being checked out by the trainer.
D. Travis Hurst.
Okay, while the Reuben Haynes gets worked on by the trainer, we'll take a timeout now from the Georgia Dome. We'll be back with more third quarter action right after this. Welcome back to the Georgia Dome. Lincoln County leads it third quarter over Commerce 7-3. Quarterback Ruben Haynes for Commerce took a hit on that last play, and we might see the backup come in.
Tell you, Travis Hurst, the big defensive lineman from Lincoln County, got a big hit on him. He was a little gimpy coming into the second half.
Dusty Black is in a quarterback in the shotgun. He takes the snap and takes it upfield. Dusty still on his feet at the 25, finally brought down at the 26-yard line. Good play by Dusty Black. Good defensive play by number 25, Donnell Wynn.
Black is no stranger to all the action today. Here, you take a look at him. Quarterback draw up inside for some positive yardage, but he's also kicked a field goal in the first half and was responsible for that sack by Commerce on Lincoln County going in to halftime.
There's Ruben Haynes on the sidelines, and looks like he's getting ready to come back in for this big 3rd and 11 for Commerce at the 26-yard line. Clock continues to run. There's head coach Steve Savage. His team trailing by 4. 3rd and 11. 3 receivers to the right side, but the handoff goes up the middle to Randy Womack, and Womack is stopped cold on a 3rd and 11 by Jeffrey Porter, number 10 of Lincoln County.
Unlike the first half when he was running up inside, Womack was getting positive yardage. Lincoln County was able to nullify that. Jeffrey Porter, the outstanding linebacker.
Dusty Black. There you see him ready to punt it away for Commerce. Back deep is number 9 for Lincoln County. That's Ronte Norman. Here's the kick. And this one hits at the 43, then takes a bounce, and he lets it roll. And this one's going to roll to the 22-yard line of Lincoln County, and that's where they'll take over 1st and 10. Some good punting today, DJ.
It is some good punting, but what we're seeing here is some very good defense by both teams. And man, coming into this game, we knew that Lincoln County and Commerce both had great defenses, but man, I tell you, they've certainly done an excellent job here in the so far from the first half and here early in the second half.
49-yard punt by Dusty Black. And Lincoln County starts at their own 22-yard line. There you see total yards on the game. Lincoln County, I'll tell you what, they've 3 times the total yards of Commerce, but yet it's only a 4-point lead by the Red Devils. 1st and 10 for the Red Devils on their own 22. And that's Darrell Norman. And Norman looks like he has enough for 1st down.
It's a nice play. That's actually the same play that he scored on in the first half. Darrell Norman, nearly 1,000 yards rushing here, and of course the leading rusher out of the Norman boys that play both ways for Lincoln County.
And they want to measure this one. There you see Darrell Norman's numbers: 7 rushes, 76 yards, and a touchdown, and he has it by that much.
You know, these Norman boys are all cousins and they're all seniors, and wonder will they all go to the same school? I mean, college, that is, after this high school football career is over.
Well, I tell you one thing, Coach Campbell's going to miss them next year.
Yes.
Barden on the keeper. Barden crosses the 40 and gets to about the 43, 44-yard line, brought down by number 5, Taylor Adams.
Well, I'll tell you what we were able to see just on that last play was a great individual effort by Brandon Barton, avoiding the stoppage there. Great penetration by the right side of Commerce. Actually, a tackle being missed there by Dante Martin, but the elusiveness of Brandon Barton, as you can see there, should have been tackled, but was able, big and strong enough, to break loose and get some extra yardage.
So the ball is marked at the 43-yard line for Lincoln County. On 1st and 10, Barden rolls right, looks downfield, throws it up, got a man down there. This one's picked off by number 1, Tony Crawford.
Tony Crawford was definitely in great position there to make a play. He wasn't going to be outrun, but again, apparently he didn't bite. As the ball fake you see here, little play action pass there, and apparently Brandon thought maybe that the corner would have been biting, but he stayed back. Great discipline in his coverage, and this is like basically a long punt. Nobody's hurt, but again, I know that Lincoln County's missing out on an opportunity to score.
Good point. Tony Crawford with the interception. There you see the senior being congratulated by the coaching staff and his other players on the football team. So Commerce takes over on the 1st and 10 at the 12-yard line. Haynes, quick drop, and looks to find Josh Hill coming over the middle. Pass is incomplete.
He had Hill open. Wasn't able to get the ball to him there, but I like the decision-making there by the Commerce offensive coaches there to try to hit something big.
The defense has been the name of the game today, DJ.
It is, I tell you, but Commerce is going to have to get better field position in order to get things going here. We're backed up on this hungry, very aggressive Lincoln County defense.
Here's Reuben Haynes, and he picks up a couple of yards. It's pretty amazing when you think about it. Here we are, 2-minute mark left in the third quarter, and Commerce with only 74 yards total offense. That says a lot about Lincoln County and what they've been able to do. I mean, incredible history of defense, and you know, that's what it is. I mean, it's always been said, defense wins championships.
As great as Lincoln County has been playing defense, those 72 yards that Commerce was able to get in the first half didn't paint the picture because they held onto the ball an awfully long time.
There you see the turnovers. Lincoln County with 2 turnovers. Commerce has yet to turn it over. Haynes under center, the handoff. It's Womack, and Womack goes through the middle, picks up a couple before being knocked down by number 42, Keith Kreit.
And let me tell you, Keith Kreit was just a tackle away from Womack going all the way, but that's what it's all about. I mean, when it's your time to make a play, you got to make a play. Because if he didn't make that play, Womack would have been still running right now.
Absolutely, absolutely. And there's Keith Kreit. Keith is 6 feet tall, 215 pounds, a senior, and a Division I prospect. I mean, he's a very talented young man for Lincoln County. First down, Commerce as they measure. And so Keith says, okay, guys, let's make sure we stop him this time around. Coming up on a minute left in the third quarter. Haynes keeps it and is brought down at about the 27-yard line. Pickup of a couple of yards, stopped by number 8, Ricardo Norman.
Well, Robert Jones did a wonderful job of blowing that play up, or what appeared to blow the play up there at the start. But again, great presence of mind by the quarterback to continue on the edge and keep the ball to pick up some good yardage.
30 seconds and counting in the third quarter. 2 wideouts, 1 to the left, 1 to the right, man in motion, and the handoff straight up the gut, and I believe it's Womack again. And he crosses over the 30-yard line to about the 31. And it looks like Commerce is going to let this one run out.
What we're witnessing here the last few plays is a lot of what the Commerce offense was able to do in the first half, is to gain positive yardage and eat a lot of clock.
36 minutes in the books, 12 minutes left in this single-A football semifinal from the Georgia Dome. Lincoln County has the lead over Commerce, 7-3. Welcome back to the Georgia Dome. We get ready for the fourth quarter. Lincoln County leading 7-3. Let's go downstairs to Gerald Oliveri. Gerald?
Hey, Jim, as we take a look at number 21, Randy Womack, he's been running the ball very efficiently today. We look back at last year, he actually was at the Georgia Dome when Lincoln County played here, and he watched the game from the Lincoln County sidelines. He said looking up in the Georgia Dome kind of made him dizzy, and Coach Savage said he hoped his team didn't get consumed by playing here in the Dome, and it looks like they haven't so far.
Done a good job so far. Thank you, Gerald. 12 minutes left in the single-A football semifinal. A big 3rd and 2 for Commerce at the 31-yard line. And Ruben Haynes decided to keep it, and it was a mistake on his part because he was met behind the line of scrimmage by number 3, Tyler Beal.
Another big play by Tyler Beal here, crashing down here. Of course, wrapping up and doing a good job on bringing the quarterback down. Take another look at it. He's coming right down the line there and took the quarterback. His assignment was the quarterback, which in the first half, according to Coach Campbell, the quarterback wasn't being taken care of, but Beal did a great job there.
Dusty Black to punt for Commerce. Back deep for Lincoln County is Ronte Norman. Here's the punt, end over end. Fielded by Ronte Norman at the 44 and knocked out of bounds at midfield. That's where Lincoln County will start 1st and 10. So Ronte finally got a chance to return one, DJ.
Well, I'm sure after the urging of Coach Campbell by letting the first couple get on the ground and roll for positive yardage for Commerce.
Lincoln County looking for their 11th state championship under head coach Larry Campbell. They're 11 minutes and 14 seconds away from another state championship game. Barden, handoff. This is Norman. Now whistles blow as the play is stopped. Might be a false start on the offense.
You know, Jim, as we talk about Coach Larry Campbell, we have an opportunity to, again, there's a lot of speculations that this might be his last season. Again, you know, there's been talk about it. He says that he's not letting on, but he's going to think about it after the season.
Dead ball, false start by the offense. 5 yards, 1st down.
I think people have been saying that for a long time.
But I think they made a bigger deal out of it more so this year than any time.
Yeah.
But, boy, truly a great job that he's done, over 400 victories.
Yes, indeed. 11-11 to play. 1st and 15 for the Red Devils, and the handoff to Ronte Norman, and Norman's at the 40, 35-30. Ronte Norman could go all the way. He's at the 5, and touchdown, Ronte Norman.
Taking a look here again, Norman takes the handoff there, just goes up in between the guard and tackle, and actually gets a little move to the outside, and it turns on the afterburners, and it's pay dirt.
And it's that last stretch in the corner of the end zone that did it, DJ, as he races these 55 yards for the touchdown. Watch him stretch right there. Ball crosses the plane, touchdown, Lincoln County.
The runner has stepped out of bounds on the 3-yard line. There is no touchdown. 1st and goal.
Now
well, we were watching the ball. The referees were watching his feet, which is more important because they say they stepped out of bounds. Taylor Adams might be the guy, number 5, who pushed him out of bounds. Here it is again, coming down the sidelines.
Well, one thing is for sure.
There it is, right there.
One thing is for sure is no replay in high school football, and I thought that I saw one of the referees signal a touchdown, so I don't know what happened here. Maybe he was overruled by the umpire.
Well, and it was the right call. As usual, these referees are on top of their game. I mean, they make the right call, and so now it's a 1st and goal for Lincoln County. Barden on the keeper. Barden for the touchdown.
Well, that's no doubt about it now. That's definitely a touchdown here, but a great individual effort by Ronte Norman to get the Red Devils in position to score another touchdown.
So it's 13-3 Lincoln County. And Vance Tarver, number 89, is on the field to attempt the extra point. There you see Tarver. There's the snap, the hold, the kick, it's up, and it's good. And with 10:57 left to play in the 4th quarter, Lincoln County now has an 11-point lead over Commerce, 14-3, DJ.
Yes, indeed, and you see that obviously the momentum is now back with Lincoln County. Take another look at that touchdown run there, but Brandon Barton getting behind the 220 pounds and forcing his way into the end zone.
It's nice to be 6'4" and be able to stretch like that.
Yes.
And the fans from Lincolnton are on their feet here at the Georgia Dome as you look at all the angles of that touchdown run by Brandon Barton. Our crew is on top of it as usual from every angle under the big top. There you see the Red Devils, and they are excited, and they're looking at this thing and they're saying, hey, we're ready to play for this championship. Scoring drive, 2 plays, 50 yards, time just 17 seconds. And of course, Barton with the 3-yard touchdown run. And DJ, this is a time in their life, these kids are never going to forget this.
You're right, because again, you know, many of these kids, unlike Barton, won't ever play another game of football again. They'll play it right here in the Dome.
Vance Tarver to kick it off. Tony Crawford, Josh Hill back deep to receive for Commerce. This is Crawford from his own 5 to the 20, 25, and brought down is Tony Crawford. Good special teams play by number 25, Donnell Wynn.
Great tackle on the kickoff coverage unit by Wynn. This drive is going to tell us a lot about Commerce if they can come back and answer the bell after, of course, getting down now 14-3.
Well, there you see the close-up of quarterback Ruben Haynes. As the Tigers start their own 25-yard line. 1st and 10. Haynes hands off. That's Randy Womack again. And Womack fights his way to about the 31-yard line. Pick up about 6. It'll be 2nd and 4.
Haynes gives the ball up inside to his big fullback, who has brought his lunch pail to the Dome today. This young man, Womack, has certainly put in his days of work, earning his yardage the hard way.
Brought his lunch pail to the Dome. Gotta like it. 2nd and 4 for Commerce at the 31-yard line. Haynes on the keeper. And oh, what a stop by number 10 linebacker Jeffrey Porter.
Porter's the guy. Great read, great tackle.
As we hit the 10-minute mark and still counting left in the 4th quarter. Jerry Porter,
leading tackler for that Lincoln County Red Devils defense, over 101 stops on the year.
Stands 5'9", 200 pounds. He's a senior, so he'll be graduating. He's another Division I prospect for Lincoln County. 3rd and 1 for Commerce. The pitch to number 9. That's Josh Hill, and Hill takes a hit. Big-time hit from number 25, Donnell Wynn. Also on the play, number 75, Tony Wells.
You have to love the way the defensive back, Donnell Wynn, came up to make the play.
That's back-to-back great plays by Wynn.
Just love it when those DBs come up and hit like linebackers.
But Commerce did get a 1st down on the play as the ball is marked at the 37-yard line. Haynes on the keeper again. Haynes in trouble again and brought down by number 10, Jeffrey Porter again.
Well, again, Keith Pride had a lot to do with that, but these guys are playing together, man. They understand their assignments, unlike in the first half where the quarterback was not taken care of in the pitch man. But these guys now have their assignments down. They are doing what they need to do to stop that triple threat of that Commerce offense.
Remember, coming into this game, Lincoln County only gave up 45 points in their first 13 games. So here they've only given up 3. I mean, DJ, if they pitch a shutout in the championship, it's under 50 for the season. That's incredible. Here's the pitch to Josh Hill, and Hill is brought down in behind the line of scrimmage by number 5, Jathius Jones. And that speed of Lincoln County on defense, DJ, I mean, you can see it now.
You can see it, but, you know, you mentioned the 3 points that they've given up today. Do you think that probably upset them a little bit at halftime? The reason
I guess so.
They're in a shutdown mode right now?
Yeah, I mean, you know, they've just now given up 100 yards for the game, or they're 99 yards, and Lincoln County with 286, so I guess that's why they're fired up. They don't want to give up that triple digit in total yards. Timeout on the field. There's Coach Savage from Commerce. He's scratching his head. He's saying, okay, guys, we got to get this thing regrouped and let's see how we can't score against this tough defense. Hey, it's viewers like you that help make great local programs like these high school football games possible on Georgia Public Broadcasting. To show your support, simply visit our website at www.gpb.org. It's totally secure, simple to use, and takes just 2 minutes. And thank you for supporting Georgia Public Broadcasting. And we're happy to bring you these games as we do each and every year in the first couple of weeks of December as we count it down to the big holiday season here in downtown Atlanta. And it's wonderful to be indoors knowing it's about 35 degrees outside and a comfortable 72 inside, DJ.
Absolutely. These are perfect game conditions for both teams, and I know that, if they had a choice, whether they could play this outside or inside, unanimously, I know that they'd be right here.
There you see the big top. It's quite a sight downtown. This stands 27 stories high. Here's Haynes again looking downfield. Incomplete, intended for Tony Crawford. And Dusty Black also in the play there.
Crawford couldn't quite come down with the catch, which brings up a punting situation for the Commerce Tigers.
And there is Dusty Black to punt it away for Commerce. He was actually the one that threw the ball on that play, not Reuben Haynes. And here's the punt. It hits at the 36 and then bounces down and rolls and rolls and rolls down to about the 22-yard line, and that's where Lincoln County will take over 1st and 10. When you look at the stretch and the runs that Lincoln County has made over the years, it is totally incredible. I mean, the first 3 titles came in the 60s, in 60, 62, 63. Larry Campbell comes into the picture in 72, and then they reel off 10 straight championships, including last year in 2005. There's Brandon Barden's numbers on the year, for the game, I should say. Here's the pitch to Norman. Norman tries to turn the corner at the 25 and is knocked out of bounds by number 9, Josh Hill. But DJ, when you look at the numbers, and Larry Campbell takes over in 72, and then they win a championship in 76, 77, 85, 86, 87, 89, 90, 93, 95. Then he had a 10-year delay there and then came back in 2005, did it again, and now he's in the running to do it back-to-back years. There you see the 300-win club, and there you see Larry Campbell, the most winningest coach in Georgia history at 401. Robert Davis is still coaching at Westside at 338, so he's got a chance to maybe catch up to him. In the meantime, it's Barden playing volleyball, and he fumbles the ball down at the 41-yard line. Who recovered? And it looks like it's going to be Lincoln County ball.
Barton got away with one there, boy, breaking it loose for some good yardage, but lost the handle on it. Fortunately for the Red Devils, they were able to recover it.
Garrett Matthews, number 62. There you see him on your screen. He's the one that jumped on the loose ball for Lincoln County to keep the drive alive for the Red Devils. He's the center. 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line for Lincoln County. Barden hands off. This is Tyler Beal.
Beal has had a busy day, both on defense, now getting an opportunity to help the Red Devils out on offense. Take a look up inside there. He actually doesn't get touched until he gets to the linebacker, so that offensive line of the Red Devils has been doing a wonderful job.
And there's Reuben Haynes on the sidelines, warming up after taking a big hit on the last play. That's why Black was in, the quarterback, that last offensive play for Crawford. For Commerce. Handoff. This is Darrell Norman. Darrell Norman goes straight up the gut. Gets to about the 46-yard line. Call it the 48-yard line, but that's good enough for a 1st down for the Red Devils. Clock continues to run. Coming up on 6.5 to go in the final quarter. Man in motion is Norman. Handoff to Ronte Norman. And Ronte Norman gets down to the 36-yard line. Lincoln County continues to move the ball, DJ.
Yes, indeed. And you almost feel and almost can sense the Commerce defense wearing down as you take another look at this play. The offensive line just continues to pound on the defensive line of Commerce, and these running backs are continuing to get some good yardage.
Good stop by number 5, Taylor Adams, and number 10, Alonzo Huff for Commerce. 1st and 10 for Lincoln County. 6 minutes to play. Inside handoff. That's Ricardo Norman. He picks up maybe a yard. And they just keep pounding away.
Big stop by Josh Beauchamp in the middle of the pile there.
Beauchamp, of course, another Division I prospect for Commerce.
Yeah, the sack leader for Commerce had 4 on the season.
There you see the defense of the Tigers. And Brandon Barton at quarterback. Hand off to Beal. Beal still on his feet. Gets to about the 30-yard line. Tyler Beal, number 3.
Nice.
Stopped by number 7, Dusty Black.
Nice run by the slippery fullback there, Beal up inside. Nice little change up there. We're normally seeing the speed of the Norman boys, but Beal up inside doing some of the dirty work.
Players are starting to wonder, can we really come back from this 11-point deficit with under 5 minutes to go? They're at the 30-yard line. 3rd and 4 for Lincoln County. And the pitch to Ricardo Norman. Norman turns the corner. He's inside the 25 to the 21-yard line. Ricardo Norman with a big run and another first down for Lincoln County. Tony Crawford finally knocked him out of bounds, number 1.
Here's another good look at that speed to the outside by Norman. But a nice job by Tony Crawford staying home, and that could have been a bigger play than it really was. Thank goodness for Tony Crawford.
Ricardo Norman's numbers on the day: 5 carries for 15 yards, averaging 3 yards a carry. And again, some concerned looks on these young kids' faces from Commerce as the clock continues to run. It's Norman with the handoff, and it's Daryl Norman trying to break free as he gets inside the 10-yard line down to about the 9. Good run by Daryl Norman. So it's Ronte Norman, it's Ricardo Norman, it's Daryl Norman, and it's Jared Harrell on the stop here for Commerce.
One thing is for sure, these Norman boys will be surely missed by the Lincoln Red Devils next year.
Incredible run. Daryl Norman on the day, 10 carries, 96 yards, and a touchdown. So it's 1st and goal just inside the 10-yard line. And a handoff, and we have a stoppage of play. There's a flag before the play actually was started. That's probably going to be against Lincoln County.
Yeah, offsides there, and looks like number 55, Dante Martin, had a really nice bead on that particular play, but got there just a little early.
Actually, they called this one against Commerce. Here's Gene McLeod.
Dead ball, encroachment by the defense. 5 yards, first down.
So now as Steve Savage looks on, it's now a 1st and goal from the 5-yard line for Lincoln County. Penalties have hurt Commerce. 4 for 17 yards. Lincoln County just 1 for 5 yards. 1st and goal from the 5. Norman in the backfield in motion. Barton on the keeper, and he takes it up to about the 3-yard line, setting up a 2nd and goal for Lincoln County.
Was getting a little late in the day for Commerce here, but they, I tell you, need a big stop, because the only hope that they have is that they can get the ball back. But again, down 14-3 with Lincoln County looking to score here. Again, it's not looking too good, Jim.
It's amazing, and you know, Lincoln County's playing in their 28th semifinal, only trails by 1 by the leading school, which is Valdosta. Here's the keeper, and it's Barden on the touchdown. Brandon Barden scores from 3 yards out, and Lincoln County takes a 20-3 lead.
Well, the senior quarterback has had a wonderful day, scoring his 2nd rushing touchdown on the day. We'll take a look at him faking it up inside, just tucking it underneath and getting behind to those 220 pounds and just ending up in the end zone. Great day for Brandon Barden.
Vance Tarver on to attempt the extra point for Lincoln County. The snap, the hold, the kick, it's up, and it is good. So Vance Tarver gives Lincoln County a 21-3 lead with just 2:43 remaining. And oh yeah, the Red Devils are feeling pretty good about this one right now. They're thinking championship game next weekend as Barden goes in one more time on the replay. Another great run, another great angle by Barden. There's the scoring drive, 11 plays, 78 yards, took 5 minutes and 17 seconds. Earlier we had a chance to catch up with Larry Campbell, and he told us what he likes best about coaching the Red Devils.
Hard question after as long as I've been at it. Just the relationship with kids, and I know a lot of folks say that, but it's sincerely my only reason to stay in it at this point. It sure isn't about the number of wins or anything of that nature. More and more, I'm giving my assistants more and more responsibility each year with defensive calls and offensive calls, and it gives me an opportunity to really get a lot closer to the kids, and I've really enjoyed that part of it.
Head coach Larry Campbell, and I'll tell you what, he's had quite a run at Lincoln County. Vance Tarver set to kick it off for Lincoln County. Back deep is number 1, Tony Crawford, and number 9, Josh Hill for Commerce. Boy, I tell you what, you look at this, DJ, what a coaching career for Coach Campbell. Taking that's a 10 by Tony Crawford. Crawford gets it out to about the 32-yard line, and that's where Commerce starts 1st and 10. But DJ, you know, you look at this, and you know, Lincoln County, they came in with 625 wins, the 2nd best winning percentage in high school football behind Valdosta. Valdosta 81%, Lincoln County 73%. They have now, after today's game, will be 626 wins for Lincoln County. Thomasville is 2nd most games won ever, 630. So Lincoln County can pass that mark next year. So it's just incredible the run that Coach Campbell has had with Lincoln County. Meantime, Commerce on offense. It's Black taking the snap there.
And what did you say? Beals on the stop once again. Tyler Beal.
Tyler Beal having a great game on both sides of the ball, as is a number of ball players from each side, from both Lincoln County and Commerce. I mean, when you're having to play both sides of the ball for 48 minutes, I mean, that's, you know, you're going to be ready to take a nap.
You're absolutely right. But, you know, you're talking about the great success that Coach Larry Campbell has had, but obviously his most celebrated player he's coached, former University of Georgia running back Garrison Hurst.
Absolutely. Here's Womack, and I'll tell you what, Keith Cricht has had himself a ball game, and so has number 5, Jathius Jones, on defense for Lincoln County.
Those guys have certainly turned it up a notch here in the 2nd half, and again, I can guarantee you that going in after that interview we heard of Coach Campbell going into halftime, he definitely lit a fire up under these guys, because it's definitely paying off for him now.
He's got a few years experience of doing those type of things. Knowing what to say in the locker room, when to say it.
He wasn't too happy going in, I tell you that.
Unbelievable. It's at the 33-yard line. Commerce is taking their time getting to the line of scrimmage. Black is playing quarterback in the shotgun. He's taking the snap and running straight forward. So looks like we've seen the end of Ruben Haynes for the day. Jathius Jones makes the tackle on Black.
Definitely want to take my hat off to Ruben Haynes and Randy Womack, outstanding players for Commerce, and they did a tremendous job in the 1st half. But again, you know, the physical game that it is and the great defensive play by Lincoln County, it's just tough. These guys, you know, there's no reason why they have the best defense in Class A.
Incredible. Lincoln County defense is out there on the field having their fans stand up in the stands. There you see them. They're excited. They're going back to a championship game again. 28 semifinals over the years. And, you know, what can you say about the Red Devils? I mean, they're just incredible. What a defensive team.
Dead ball, delay of the game by the offense, 5 yards, 4th down.
A lot of credit has to be given to head coach Steve Savage with his Commerce team. Man, they came in, they played hard, they had a wonderful season.
And so one more snap of the ball, and this one goes into the record books. On a 4th and 8. And they take a knee down, and that's it. Lincoln County, headed by that man right there, Larry Campbell, goes to another single A football state championship. Well, now they stop the clock with 23 seconds. And with it being a 4th and 8, DJ, they took the knee. That's a change of possession, so the clock has to stop.
Right.
So Lincoln County gets to take a knee. So one play, 23 ticks, and it's over. Goldman takes the knee. And boy, Coach Campbell takes another win. Lincoln County wins it over Commerce 21-3. The Red Devils head back to the single A championship game next weekend. And Larry Campbell and the Red Devils look to try to make it back-to-back state championships in an incredible run in the year of 2006. What a game by the Red Devils, and defense again was the name of the game. We'll take a timeout and hear from the winning coach right after this. Back here at the Georgia Dome, Lincoln County wins it over Commerce 21-3. Let's go downstairs to Gerald Oliveri. Gerald.
Hey, Coach, going into the into the halftime, you were visibly upset, and it seemed like your team came out on a mission in that 3rd quarter.
Well, the very things I told you at halftime, I was upset with myself because we should have got 3 points out of that thing, and that was my fault. But I told you we had to do 2 things, and that was stop the midline, and my defensive coaches, as always, did a great job of making some changes at half. And then the Norman triplets got wound up, my quarterback got wound up, and they don't get wound up without a good job by our offensive line. So this played much better second half than we did the first.
Now, Coach Campbell, you've been at this for a long time, but no less emotion on the sidelines. I saw you up there running and jumping around. How much do you enjoy this?
I love it. I love game time. I ain't too much of a practice man, but I love game time.
And once again, just talk about the play of your team and how proud you are.
Well, to get here, you know, everybody thinks the season we returned a lot of kids, and people stick you up at number 1, and that makes it 10 times worse. You just have to hold them together and try to keep their heads screwed on tight and hope you can, get back to the big game, and we're there.
All right, well, thanks a lot, Coach, and congratulations. Good luck in the championship game. Back up to you, Jim.
Thank you, Gerald. Well, so Lincoln County goes for their 14th state championship next weekend as they win it over Commerce 21-3. Our special thanks to Gerald Oliveri, DJ Jones, our entire technical team here at the Georgia Dome. I'm Jim Ginocchio. Thanks for watching GPB. Coming up at 3 o'clock, more football right here from the Georgia Dome. So long, everybody. Funding for this broadcast of the 2006 Georgia High School Association's football semifinals has been provided in part by Georgia Electric Membership Corporations, the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, IBEW Local 613, Atlanta, Wachovia, the Georgia Student Finance Commission, by viewers like you, and the Georgia High School Association, who wish to thank the Georgia Dodge dealers, State Farm, and Verizon Wireless for their support of high school sports programming on GPB.